In this video, let's break down the toxic dependency between Syndrome and Mirage in The Incredibles. On the surface, Mirage comes across as the poised, elegant assistant who smoothly manages the logistics behind Syndrome's grand master plan, making everything look seamless and professional. But beneath that sleek exterior lies a deeply unhealthy dynamic, one rooted in manipulation, tight control, and a heavy emotional imbalance that keeps her tethered to him in ways that aren't healthy.
He prefers a certain amount of anonymity. Surely you, of all people, understand that.
I was just wondering, of all the places to settle down, why live...
With a volcano, he's attracted to power. So am I. It's a weakness we share.
Seems a bit unstable.
I prefer to think of it as misunderstood.
First, a bit about Syndrome himself. He's not your typical straightforward villain driven purely by greed or chaos. Instead, his whole path into villainy stems from a deep childhood rejection. As a kid obsessed with heroes, he approached his idol, Mr. Incredible, with big ideas and gadgets, only to get brushed off and dismissed as a nuisance, which crushed him.
All I wanted was to help you.
I only wanted to help! And what did you say to me?
Fly home, buddy. I work alone.
It tore me apart. But I learned an important lesson. You can't count on anyone, especially your heroes.
That single moment warped his entire sense of self, turning his pain into an all-consuming drive to prove he's superior. To flip the script and show the world, especially Mr. Incredible, that he's the real power player now. Mirage slots right into that personal fantasy of his, but not as an equal or true collaborator. He doesn't see her as a partner with her own thoughts and agency. She functions more like an extension of his operation, a reliable tool he uses for recruiting unsuspecting supers, a living symbol of his growing success and sophistication, and just another piece orbiting his inflated ego. Syndrome talks at her constantly, monologuing about his genius without ever really engaging her as an equal. He never asks for her real input or treats her like someone with value beyond her tasks. He just assumes her loyalty is a given, assumes she admires him without question, and most critically, assumes she'll stick around no matter what, because in his mind, why wouldn't she? He's the brilliant one calling the shots. Yet through all this one-sided dynamic, the dismissals, the lack of real connection, the way he overrides any hint of pushback, Mirage stays strikingly loyal. Part of it comes down to how he gives her a sense of purpose in a life that might otherwise feel empty. Working for him fills a void, makes her feel essential in something bigger, even if it's built on shaky exploitative ground. That pull keeps her invested, overlooking the red flags until they become impossible to ignore. Even though Syndrome treats her with constant dismissiveness and sees her mostly as a means to an end, she holds onto a firm inner belief that he would sacrifice his own life for hers if it ever truly came to that, or at the very least jump in to save her from any real threat to her survival. She had accepted his ruthless side long before, the pragmatic cutthroat edge that kept his operations running like clockwork without a trace of softness, but she never thought it would extend to targeting the private jet with Elastigirl and her kids on board. All just to twist the knife in Mr. Incredible out of pure personal spite and force him to drown in grief over his family's destruction.
Abort! Abort! There are children aboard! Say again, there are children aboard this... No!
We have a confirmed hit. Target was destroyed.
That shocking disregard for innocent lives, especially children who had no part in his grudge, hit her like a jolt from the blue, cracking the facade she built around him and exposing a level of heartless calculation that made her start questioning her place in his shadow. The real break came in that heated standoff, when Mr. Incredible, blinded by rage over the plane incident, nearly caught Syndrome off guard with his back turned, lunging forward to grab him in a blur of superhuman speed and power. Mirage reacted in an instant, shoving Syndrome out of the way and taking his place herself, only to end up caught tight in Mr. Incredible's massive grip as he roared his threat to crush her unless Syndrome released him right then. Syndrome didn't blink or bargain for her life. He showed zero worry, brushing it off with a smirk and even challenging him to go ahead and do it, betting everything on Mr. Incredible's true nature as a man who draws a hard line against killing anyone in cold blood, no matter how much they'd betrayed him.
Release me! Now!
Or what?
I'll crush her.
That sounds a little dark for you. Now, go ahead.
It'll be easy, like breaking a toothpick.
Show me.
If that heroic restraint had slipped even a little under the weight of his pain, she would have been ground to nothing in those powerful hands on the spot, and Syndrome wouldn't have shed a tear or missed a beat, too wrapped up in his ego to care about one less pawn. Those moments laid everything bare for her in brutal detail. She wasn't a valued partner or someone he protected. She was just a reliable tool, sharp and efficient, slotted into his bigger machine for luring heroes, setting traps, and feeding his endless hunger to prove himself above the supers who rejected him years ago.
I called his bluff, sweetheart, that's all. I knew he wouldn't have it in him to actually...
Next time you gamble, bet your own life.
Syndrome never understood loyalty as something you earn. He treated it like property he already owned, skipping any real trust building or give and take because he assumed his smarts, gadgets, and big personality made devotion a sure thing. By the end, she made it real by helping the Parr family break out after learning they survived against all odds, rejecting Syndrome's whole twisted outlook that put grudges and glory over basic human decency, and walking away clean from his poisonous setup. The Incredibles franchise never shows her again after that, but the strength in how she left screams that she turned things around for good, stepping into a life built on her own terms, free from that cycle of control and moral rot.